Sentinel Island is one of the most beautiful islands in the Indian Ocean, but the bad news is that you cannot go there. Most of this island is covered by a dense forest and it has amazing beaches, but the only problem is the local people. If outsiders get too close to the island, the people who live there will attack and attempt to kill them. The people living here have totally rejected any form of contact with outsiders, and they have also rejected modern civilization. The locals are so violent that they even throw rocks and fire arrows on helicopters and low-flying planes that fly anywhere close to the island. The Indian government protects the North Sentinel Island, but the hostility of the locals is enough to keep everyone away. Svalbard Global Seed Safe is what we would assign to as modern-day Noah's Ark, only linked to seeds. This seed safe is a facility that was built to survive the worst catastrophes that would threaten the crops that we have on planet, because it will supply the planet with seeds of every crop that exists today. This facility gives us the hope that we could always build up the green aspect of the planet if anything happened. As fascinating as a tour of the facility might be, it would be next to impossible for you to go there, owing to the tight and round-the-clock security. Though you could do online visit of the Svalbard Global Seed Safe if you must. The Coca-Cola Company has been for 100 years recognized as the world-leading soft drink company, a title that is likely to retain for another century. This company has guarded its secret recipe for 125 years, a recipe with a secret ingredient that is well hidden. This secret recipe is apparently hidden in the Coca-Cola recipe safe in Atlanta, and some people claim that it is one of the most secure safes on the planet. Although the Coca-Cola Company has placed the safe as a showpiece where people can actually get close to the secret recipe, but most people believe that the company just wants to make money from curious people, and that the actual recipe and safe are quite far from the public eye. The White Gentleman's Club is one of the most secretive clubs in England, but is well known owing to its 320-year existence. This club is open only to elite men in society, meaning that women and ordinary folk are not allowed anywhere close to its doorway. The only member to resign from the club of his own free will was Prime Minister David Cameron, who felt that the nature of the club wasn't in line with his modern conservatism views. Despite fighting the members gambling or engaging in heavy drinking isn't a surprising thing. Gaining membership to this club is as hard as getting the Queen to knight you, meaning that it's next to impossible. Club 33 is supposed to be a secret club in Disneyland that only its members should know exist. Opened in 1967 by Walt Disney, the secret club was meant to be the place for entertaining investors, politicians and celebrities who came to Disneyland. It will be difficult finding where the club is, since there are no signs giving you directions, despite the fact that some members of staff will point you towards the entrance of the Club 33, while others will deny that even exists. You can never get in unless you have a personal invitation from a member of the club. Another way the club is keeping people away is with its extremely high membership fee of $25,000 and its annual subscription fee of $10,000 with a 14-year waiting list. As fun as it might sound to visit this place, sadly it's almost impossible to get in. Mount Weather is one of the most secure places on the planet, since it acts as an emergency operations center that can be used in the event of catastrophic phenomenon that could risk the lives of some high-level officials. On September 11, Dick Cheney was flown to this facility to ensure his safety during the catastrophic events that unfolded on that day, a role that the facility is ready to play anytime in the future. This facility was built during the time of the Cold War and is just a few minutes flight from the Washington DC. But you cannot get anywhere close to this facility because it's heavily guarded and you are not welcome here. Javari Reserve is a section of the Brazilian rainforest, hosting some communities that have survived in isolation from the developing world for a very long time. The section of the rainforest that these communities live in is so remote and deep in the forest that they were discovered only after high-resolution satellite images, which showed human activity. The authorities flew over the section of the rainforest that they believed to have picked up human activities and discovered thatched constructions and crops growing around them. In order to protect these and other communities that we don't know of living in the rainforest and in the Amazon area, the authorities here are protecting over 30,000 square miles of the rainforest and setting it aside for these people. This means that despite of how awesome it would be visit these communities, you are not allowed to go there. Surtsey is an island that was created of volcanic eruptions at sea near Iceland, with the molten and fast-cooling lava going up to surface of the sea in February 14, 1963. The volcano beneath continued to erupt for 3.5 years and is now an island 1.4 square kilometers wide, though erosion is reducing its size with every wave. Surtsey seems like an amazing place to go for an expedition, but that is not going to happen because it's a nature reserve set aside for the study of ecological succession. Since very few scientists have even been allowed to visit this place and conduct many studies linked to how plants and animals establish themselves in a new area. Chances of visiting this new land are slimmer than they have ever been. Almost every government on the planet has dirty dealings that it wouldn't want its citizens to know about, and secret organizations undertake those dealings in the shadows. North Korea's secret organization goes by the name Room 39, which can also be assigned to Office 39 or Division 39. Numerous sources claim that Room 39 is a secret facility in Pyongyang where the government encourages counterfeiting, the production and dealing in narcotics, and international insurance fraud, among other illegal activities. Since the money that results from the illegal activities that take place in Room 39 goes into founding the country leadership and supporting its nuclear weapon development. You are not in any way welcome to visit this facility. This town in Russia is one of the most unique towns in all of Europe and Asia, since Russia is the only nation on the planet existing in two continents. Meshgorod was closed down by the government, but the people living there were not expelled. They continue to live in the town and do some confidential work for the government. NATO believes that the people living in the town are mostly employees working in the Mal Yamonto, a suspected nuclear facility. This facility came up during the Cold War, and people are still working there despite of the end of the time full of spying and its other related activities. You cannot visit this town because it's still a closed area, and despite of how fascinating it must be to know what goes on inside, you just have to keep guessing. The debate of whether aliens exist or not is not likely to end anytime soon, especially owing to the existence of places such as Area 51. For years, the government has tried to deny the existence of Area 51, though in recent times it has acknowledged its presence, but still denies handling alien and UFO-related activities there. Whatever goes on in Area 51 must be very sensitive and top secret, because people are not allowed anywhere close to it. Along the way, you will meet many signs warning you to turn back, and these are the type of warnings you would be very wise to obey. Pine Gap is a top-secret development facility in Australia that is led by Australian and US governments. Although the public doesn't know much about what goes on in Pine Gap, there is a point to believe that the facility is linked with the US military drones. The secret facility was established in 1970, and the Australian government doesn't like talking about its existence or anything that takes place there. This facility is built to be a satellite monitoring station and is located away from civilization so that other nations don't catch its signals. This facility might be the location from where the US leads its many spy satellites. This place is prohibited and non-visited people cannot set foot in this facility. Despite some people trying to tame snakes and make them their pets, definitely your first emotion when you see a snake will be fear and the impulse to run away or kill it. Since snakes are not found of human beings either, the Snake Island in Brazil is so a place that you shouldn't even attempt to go. Living up to its name, this island is host to over 4,000 snakes that snatch birds from the sky and whose poison can kill you within hours, if not minutes. Except for adrenaline junkies who would attempt to stare death in the face just for fun, you shouldn't even wish to visit this island. Snake Island is off limits to any visitors, a limitation that is imposed by the Brazilian government. Ukraine was one of those nations where the using of nuclear energy for development and other peaceful activities was taking place, but the Chernobyl disaster led to huge losses. Pripyat was a modern city that was doing well before its abandonment within 2 days of Chernobyl disaster, leaving it as a shell of what was once a good place to live and work. Today Pripyat is closed because the level of radioactivity that is still present is too high, and even accessing the exclusion zones is possible only with soldiers. Going to the heart of the city and even getting close to the Chernobyl plant might sound like a good idea, but in doing so you would end up with a lot of problems.